we're back looking at easy scale points. That's kind of where I left off. So as a bit of a review here, we were talking about some windshield wipers. You know, I didn't really finish them, but whatever, good enough. You can see I didn't really spend any time on it. Easy windshield wipers. Make sure though that you paint them up to look like windshield wipers. Don't want them looking like crap when you come to comp. All right, so we did that. The antenna, I actually just used a earbud or a Q-tip. Just cut it off, shoe glued it in the hole here on the other side. Boom, antenna scale point. Nice and easy, right? We talked about the map book there. See, made a little map book there. It's pretty hokey. It's kind of ugly. If that was inside, like on the bench seat or something, you know, that'd be better. In fact, maybe we'll peel it off if we ever get that far with this thing. We went and did the snorkel, like I said, out of the pen there. You can kind of see. I just took a toothpaste cap and shoved that up top. So now that looks like a snorkel. Of course, it should be painted and all that, but I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just showing you examples of easy scale points, okay, with stuff that's laying around your house. We were talking about the lights last time. And I was talking about using these connectors here or whatever and cutting them down. Well, I looked at it and I decided not to do that. This is a comp body, so I decided not to do any headlight housings, but I did, or light housings, I did put the lights in. I just made the holes, and I'm using 3mm lights here. I just made the holes, poked them in, a little bit of shoe glue around both sides. Did the same at the back, and then I will solder them into, oh, I don't know, I wasn't prepared. If you're anything like me, you got a drawer full, or at least somewhere, some sort of connectors. So I could solder this connector on if I wanted to, and be able to plug it in, or it's mate, whichever. So we'll do that. So it's at least functional. That kind of brings you up to speed where we left off with this thing right now. So some other things you can do, if you're like me, and you have some extra pieces of styrene around, you can make yourself your own little door handles, right? So I can cut this like that, glue that sucker on there, sand it a little bit, make it look a little more like a, you know, make it look like a door handle, obviously. Put one on each side, boom, scale point, okay? Just like that. There's other things like you can make yourself a little shovel. This one's out of styrene. It's not finished, of course. You can see it's just kind of barely started. Popsicle stick, there you go. You can cut a shovel out of that, right? Put it in the back, scale point. Probably got most of these things laying around your place, or you're getting the idea, I'm sure. What else can you do with that? You can make a paddle. It's almost a kayak paddle the way it is. You can make a pretty easy paddle out of that. That would be another scale point because it's a different tool. So, all right, I just remembered we did not review the bed. So I did add some styrene on the edges to make sure the bed depth meets spec, so that makes it scale points, and it's like no problem now. Probably wasn't a problem in the first place, but I wanted to make sure I showed you guys. It was really close. That's all I can say. It was almost questionable. So other than that, what else can you do? You can build some mirrors. I'm not a big fan of that because they have a tendency to get ripped off easy. So in a comp situation, I'd rather find that scale point somewhere else, right? Like in the antenna or whatever. Some other things you can do is you could take actually we're getting into interior stuff, but maybe not. This here, you could snip it off and make like a little fire extinguisher, or a rattle can of spray paint or something, you know, painted silver with a little white top on it or whatever. Like, there's so many things you can do. Maybe we'll do that with this, with one of them anyways. We'll make something out of it. Okay, we'll make an extra scale point out of it somehow. Yeah. Okay, guys. So, we're going over this easy scale points scenarios, right? So here you can see I built the fire extinguisher, as I showed you out of the little connector. A couple of popsicle stick things. The way I see it is this one's a shovel and this one is a paddle. There you go. We'll call it 2 points. I don't think many people would argue with that. I should probably actually have shaped this, spent a little more time making it look a little more like a shovel and this one a little more like a paddle. But honestly, I'm just doing this for examples for you all to learn by, that you can just, you know, like, make do with what you got a lot of times and figure it out. So because it's a comp body, I did not I decided not to do light buckets, and we'll just wire it in to a plug. I think I said that in the last video. I did glue a chunk of styrene onto the door handle there, so we have a door handle. I very roughly refined it. It's like barely a pass, but there you go. Here's the other side, uncolored. I just colored it with black felt, and that's it. Just like that. Scale point, door handles. Boom. I use styrene. A lot of people don't have styrene laying around. You can just use toothpicks. Okay? Just like I used a toothpick to make the top of that handle. I was going to do one across as well, but really this is just an example of quick, easy scale points. What else did I add? Nothing, I don't think. But anyways, you get the idea. You know, you could do the same thing, make a spray bottle if you wanted. Okay, guys. So I've been messing around with scale points and stuff like that with this vehicle over here. And what I did is I took some of those pieces that we had discussed before, the bullet plugs, those little red bullet plugs. So I just made a little fire extinguisher there. I can tidy that up a little bit, make it a tiny bit more realistic so it looks more like a fire extinguisher. We did a spray bomb here. It is officially, oops. I wonder if you, it says off-road. So there's your can of off-road spray in case you need it. We made a little spray paint can here. What color is that? Rock Den Gray by the looks of it. Huh. LMRCC brand. Alright, well, there's a can of Rock Den Gray. I don't know how you'd ever see that when you spray it on the rocks, though. It just kind of blend in, I suppose. And we got an old soup can here. And a trash bag. So you can see what's going on, right? That's just from the pencil eraser, and I cut a little jagged piece. Oops, right there. I used styrene, but you can use whatever you got laying around. I took one of the club decals and I just trimmed it down. Again, that's just a pencil eraser, right? Hopefully you guys are getting the idea here. So anyway, along with the scale points, not sure if you remember, but I built, hi Piper, I made a broom. And this one's a little more super scale, and this probably should have been in the 1 hour build projects. So that will go on to, I think I'm going to use this truck for scale adventure, so it's probably going to go in there. Actually, we'll talk about that after, because that's part of a different video series, right? Okay, so I also had a decal for scale license plate, Now, when you guys do your scale license plate, I want to see some thickness to it. Put it on a piece of whatever you got laying around. You know, popsicle stick or styrene or aluminum or whatever it is. I went a little further and I put screws in it. So there it is there. With the screws. I showed you before that I did the door handles. I was looking at this and I was thinking, I better do this handle as well. Because it doesn't make sense to only have 2 or 3. Well, something else I was thinking about doing is the gas door. So I'm thinking maybe I'll cut this open and hinge it. And that'll be your opening panel. We'll see if that passes tech or not. But I think if it's hinged and it opens and closes and latches, then it would be an opening panel. So I might do that in the 1 hour build project because it's a little more complicated to do. It's not an easy scale point, but I think we might do that. So, and if nothing else, I'll put a gas cap and get us a scale point. That's the easy one. Just put a gas cap on there. All right. So I think that's about all I got for updates with this thing right now. Okay. I just shot a video on this thing a few seconds ago. Minutes ago. Anyhow, I decided that I wasn't happy with the paddle, so I went back, I peeled it off, and I reshaped it. In the process, the sucker cracked right there, but I think that actually makes it look better, so I'm going to leave it alone. And I didn't explain that I just folded up a little piece of a kitchen garbage bag to make the garbage bag. So it's literally actually a garbage bag. The Q-tip antenna, I went back and I put some black on it. I know I wasn't going to spend any time on this thing, but it just looked so crappy without it. Had to be done. I think I've already explained the off-road spray and the Rock Den gray paint rattle can. We got the soup can going on. Right, I'm going to glue the handle on, and we might do something with the gas cap. That's probably too much information. Well, may as well go over it all. We raised the bed by adding styrene. We made a snorkel out of a pen tube. See, I bent it through there. Just wired in some 3mm white and red lights. They're not completed. We'll finish that later if this thing actually gets mounted to a body or to a chassis, then we'll run it to wherever the receiver is so it's the correct length. We made some windshield wipers. Right. What else did we do? I think that's about it, actually. The door handles. Well, the map. Right. I did go back actually and add some pencil lines on top to make it look like more roads or whatever, and it definitely helped make it look a little bit better. We already discussed the roof rack. Yeah. All right.